All right, everyone. Welcome back to Limitless Formula Racing League. We are back for another round in the Formula 4 Championship. It's another Thursday evening as we get ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix at the classic Interlagos circuit. All right, viewers, welcome back as we prepare for another race in Formula 4. Just 3 rounds remain, viewers. We are around round 10 out of this Season 2 championship, and it is sure to be an absolutely amazing race here around Interlagos. The track has got 15 turns to make up a circuit length of 4 kilometers. That's 2.6 miles long. There's also 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking, 1 down the pit straight. And if you can't make an overtake there's another overtaking opportunity down to turn 4. And Brazil has a lot of overtaking opportunities throughout the entire track, so expect a lot of overtakes and a lot of action as well. So with the information aside, let's get into the racing here today in LFR. This coverage is provided by LGE as we prepare for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And in the comments box today, it's myself, Formula Jonah. Joining me once again in the commentary box is Isaac. Welcome back, my friend. I am so happy to be joining you in what feels like a lifetime since I last commentated with you here in LFR.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you've been here, a couple of weeks now, but it's really good to have you back, mate. Yeah, it's going to be much better, I'm sure, without you than it even was. I think we managed to keep it going though quite well, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And how are you doing? You've been commentating in the last 3 races. Have those been entertaining for the LFR community?
I definitely think they have been entertaining. I think Singapore was an excellent race from start to finish. Britain, we saw some excellent battling for laps. It was really incredibly tight, to be honest. I was actually really impressed at how well they held it together, and then the wet strategy, it really almost shook things up at the end, which, it was disappointing for some people, but it provided a bit of a twist to the race, which I don't think everyone was expecting. It was on a brilliant race at Mexico last time around. It was a bit chaotic, but no, it was a good win. I think it was Waitsy in the end that took home the win in that one. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the last couple of rounds have been pretty intense and filled with a lot of action here in LFR, as it always has. Shown some great action, and throughout the entire season, Season 2 has definitely been a great example of how LFR is so quick and how LFR is one of the best leagues out there. Season 1 was incredible as always. Season 2, of course, is even better. And now we head into the final few rounds of the season with the championship possibly going down in the next couple of races, and with the drivers being as close as ever in pace. So first off, I want to say, viewers, thank you so much for joining us so far in today's session. It is a short qualifying grid as well, so we're going to be having 13 minutes remaining of this session today. But viewers, I do want to mention, if you are new to the LGE channel, please make sure to subscribe to not just see more content like the Formula 4 Championship, but LFR provides 3 different tiers of action, and we also stream LSR races as well. There's 3 different tiers for that league as well, and a lot of content coming your way very soon on the LGE YouTube channel, so please make sure to subscribe here. And if you're enjoying the commentary, make sure to like as well, and send in your predictions, viewers. Send in your predictions, your thoughts, your questions, everything down in the comment section down below. That would be hugely appreciated for us. But now I want to focus our attention towards the grid itself, because we got a lot of drivers out there setting lap times, a lot of drivers on the mediums, a lot of drivers on the softs. Currently, Milan Massimo has the fastest lap time, a 107.7 is the quickest lap time today. Shock be like in that Ford, sitting second, with the championship leader Big Weir in third. But we also have some news. Mango and Keen David, 2 drivers that you've seen have retired from the session. We know they're very quick, and just to clarify, these 2 drivers have qualifying bans, so that means they cannot qualify. They will head into the race starting at the back of the grid. And Isaac, I just want to get your thoughts on that. What is this looking like for Mango and Keen David? What is their day looking like, as they are going to have a little bit of a catching up to do in the upcoming Brazilian Grand Prix?
I think absolutely they've made it so difficult for themselves, having to start from the back because of incidents in previous races, or lack of footage and things like that. But it's still possible. If they could go for a different strategy, I suspect they might try that. We've seen that with a couple of drivers who started at the back in the main race in the last couple, particularly those who had, maybe a bad qualifying performance, they've crashed out. They could do that. I suspect they'll want to really stick with the DRS. They'll need to try and get past and maybe do something different in the pit strategy, because that's going to be a good way to move forward. And obviously we've seen the pace that Mango's got. We know King David's a quick driver as well. I'm sure they'll be able to make some good progress through the field.
Oh, I definitely think they'll be able to get up there. Yeah, completely agree with you. But they are going to have to make catching up. They're going to have to catch up quite a bit. But yeah, as you said, and as I said, these two drivers, very quick, and we'll see what they can do. And I think there's a lot of overtaking opportunities for them as well. If they can get past, possibly into that left-hander at turn 1 into the Senna S's, or down into Decino del Lago at turn 4. And of course, the two DRS zones are not only the two overtaking opportunities, there's many more places to make overtakes, but I think drivers have to make sure that they pick their line very nicely, because there's a lot of narrow sections of the track, especially at the exit of turn 10, and also the beginning of sector 2 as well is very narrow, so don't expect a lot of side-by-side action, but expect drivers maybe sending it up the inside or around the outside at turn 5 and turn 6, as the Jordan of Apex Finley goes on to provisional pole position. Apex going faster than his teammate Milan Massimo and putting Jordan back on provisional pole here in qualifying. Zayek in the Braun sits second with a 107.3, just a tenth off Apex Finley's lap time. And that is a very quick lap time from Zayek, who's proving to show some incredible pace in LFR's Formula 4 Championship. Big Weir currently P3, and with 3 rounds remaining, the championship is looking to go his way.
No, I agree. It's been a consistent performance throughout the whole season. He's looking good for it. I'm not sure whether he's coming in today. We're just doing the maths on that right now. But if he doesn't win it today, it's looking quite likely it might be at the next race around the circuit of the Americas. He's been very dominant this season, particularly that run at the start, which really propelled him into a bit of a lead that no one's even really been able to mount a challenge against yet. And they're running out of time, and he's going to have some bad results if anyone wants to beat him now. So no, it's been really impressive what he's been able to do.
Yeah, it has been incredibly impressive from Big Weir. This season has gone his way. I think I remember talking about this at the very start, where we were talking about how consistent he has been throughout the season. It could have been 4 races of a win in a row if it wasn't for the Bentley driver of HBO Sworth overtaking Big Weir in the very first race of Season 2 in Portugal. But yeah, Big Weir, really consistent drive so far, and I think he's just got a few rounds remaining to prove that he is the champion of Season 2 here in Formula 4. And he will be the second ever champion in Formula 4, James being the first with the Bentley team last season. And I think we got to talk about those 3 remaining rounds. Of course, you're witnessing the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's an iconic track and definitely one to watch out for, as it can prove to be absolutely phenomenal when it comes to racing and action out on the track. But of course, we have 2 rounds remaining, and those 2 rounds are pretty awesome as well. It is the United States Grand Prix coming up. That's in Austin, Texas, as we'll be heading over to the States and just up the road, actually, because Brazil is in South America, and in the United States Grand Prix is, of course, in North America. So, yeah, those 2 tracks, absolutely phenomenal on the same stretch of land, and I think we also got to talk about that finale as well, as we'll be heading to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, another interesting track, and it provides some awesome overtaking and a lot of action, as well as it is a street track, technically, in Jeddah. So yeah, we'll see how that all works out. But 3 iconic tracks, 3 exciting tracks, and 3 tracks to deliver some great action here in Limitless Formula Racing, as we get ready for another race here in Brazil with 7 minutes remaining. Apex Finley still on provisional pole.
Yeah, no, it's quite bunched though. If taking just out maybe from 3rd downwards down to maybe 7th, there's a really tight bunch there, and it's getting, the drivers have got to put together a lap right at the end and to try and get them high up as good as they can. We know obviously a Big Weir fighting for the championship. He's going to do everything he can. to try and win it, but it's gonna be tough for all of them. I would say there's certainly, obviously we've only got 14 drivers actually setting laps in this session, with Mango and King David starting from the back, but as King's Home jumps to the top now, just in front of Apex.
And a seriously close lap time between Apex and Kingsholm, as Kingsholm just separated between Apex Finley and himself by 1/100th of a second. That's how close it is between first and second position, and how close it is between all these drivers out on the grid. Zayek is going out for another lap, and I'm just going to quickly go on board with the Braun driver for one lap of the Interlagos circuit, as Sev LaFleur in the Ford now goes fastest overall by 1/10 of a second. Good lap from the Ford driver, but here is on board with Zayek down to turn 1. A great place to make an overtake. Hug that curb to the left as you come into the Senna S. Zayek goes a little bit wide there, but it's all good as he rotates the car very nicely, gets right on the curb. You want to follow that line all the way till it kind of ends you up onto the straight in a perfect line. Down to Destino de Lago, breaking in between the 50 and 100 meter board. Get right between that curb. Perfect line for Zayek as he comes through that narrow part of the track. It's very hard to go side by side. Into 5, into 6. All this section uphill. Very difficult, and the car is going to want to throw itself to the left of the track. Heavy braking zone, shifting down to second, maybe third gear, and then here comes a traction zone as it's uphill into a banked sort of curb. As we come down into turn 10 now, another very tricky section of the track. Albon Hamilton made contact back in 2019 as you come through turn 11 down into the heaviest braking zone on the track, or the last heaviest braking zone on the track. Turn 12 as it is, 13, 14, 15. These are the final 3 corners, flat out through all 3 of these as DRS now enabled for the Braun driver coming to the line now. What can Zayek do currently with a 107.3? Goes into P2 with a 107.2, improves by 1/10 of a second, but it's still a 1/10 of a second behind Sev LaFleur in that Ford, as Ford still on provisional pole with about 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and I'm watching Friday now. He's on a lap. He's slightly improved his first sector, not by much there, but I'm watching how he's progressing. He's just coming up behind Jordan now into this tricky corner. Quite easy to invalidate here, but yeah, as he drops down the hill, then he's going to rise again back to the corner way. As he said, Hamilton and Albon did make contact here in 2019, so he's gonna thread it through there, and again another nice line by Pryor, and we're gonna see how far he is at the next split. He's 3/10 up.
Purple as well.
Oh, yeah, he's 3/10 up. Oh, he invalidates off the curb. He ran off the curb at that corner.
Oh, that's super unfortunate for Pryor. He was on a good lap as well, purple, and then it gets that invalid lap time, showing that it's very hard to exit off of turn 12 in that final heavy braking zone. But yeah, Pryor Thib will have to cool down those tires and go for another lap, wouldn't you say?
He will. He'll definitely. I don't think he doesn't have time to come back in again, really. I suppose he could if he was quick and he came in, changed tyres and went straight back out if he has another set, but I think he might just stay out on this lot of fuel and then just go again once the tyres are cooled back down again. But we'll see. I see Apex is coming out, and I think a lot of other drivers are going to start to exit the pits in the next couple of minutes. Well, the next minute, really.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the track is very fast. You know, they should have enough time to go out on track when they hit I'd say about the 2-minute mark. They'll probably head out on track maybe a little bit before, just to give them some time in case they have like an invalid lap time or spin or something like that. As we can already see a few drivers going out on track. Apex Finley getting ready for his final lap of the day. Shocked be like going out as well. And Pryor Thib doing the same, about to start his probably final lap of the session, unless he's going to go out for another one. We'll see how that works out for him. But yeah, a lot of drivers in the pit lane right now. I'm assuming the top 3 will go out again in the next few seconds. We're just waiting as we see a Force India coming out on track. That might be Kingsholm, as we see another Force India. 2 Force Indias coming out on track now. There's a Braun, there's a Ford, a lot of cars coming out on track, so we'll have to see how that works out. But Apex Finley rotating the car very nicely through the first couple of corners. Oh, and he's backed off a little bit. What happened to Apex Finley?
I don't know. He seems, yeah, he backed off. I think he's going to have to go again. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but he's definitely ruined that lap, and he's going to have to cool him back down again. It just seemed it didn't go his way for the first well, 3 turns in the center S is sometimes a tricky one to get right, but he just seems to just, yeah, you're right, back off out of the first corner. I don't know if it was a bit of counter steering or something, but I'm not sure. But now he's in this tight pack of a lot of drivers all backing up, ready to start their laps.
And you know, another driver that's also backed off is Prior Fib, who was just cooling down his tires to get ready for another lap after invalidating. He is non-validated this time round, but it seems he has backed off, so he's going to go out for another lap in what should be his final lap of the day. But yeah, this is a pretty big car train heading down to around first position on track right now, which is around turn 11. But the cars should get a nice run. They should be able to get out there, as it looks like Apex Finley going out for another lap here, as he will go once again with about 50 seconds remaining of the session. Anything can happen, and we could see a change in the pole sitter today.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. This is critical. This is where they've got to get it right. I think nearly everyone, yeah, pretty much this is their last lap for everybody. So we'll see what they can all do. But Apex is 2/10 up stuck through the first sector already. That's a big jump. If he can hold this together, he's on for pole already, I think. But obviously other people will be improving too. I think someone's backed off there in the Force India. It's big way he's invalidated it.
Oh, and that's not good for the championship leader, as that is his qualifying over P6 at best for the Force India driver. Meanwhile, Apex Finley flying out there, as you mentioned, and he just has to improve by around 0.2 of a second to be on pole position. But the interesting thing is that everyone else is improving as well. Apex Finley coming through sector 2 now. Purple in the second sector. Apex is absolutely flying the car out there as he comes through the final few corners, and flat out through these should be pretty easy for Apex Finley. All he has to do is just keep on the throttle as he comes to the line now. Apex currently P4. He goes on provisional pole and improves by 0.2 of a second to go with a 107 dead, and the Jordan driver goes on pole position today. Is there anyone else going to be able to improve? Kingdom to the line.
Oh! Seb LaFleur's coming though. He might improve. He does.
Oh! Is there anyone else that's going to improve? But I don't think so. Unless Grunfeld or HBO Swarth can be able to get up there. Grunfeld has backed off, I think, maybe. Not exactly sure as he comes to the line now. What can Grunfeld do? He goes P6 for Braun. That's good for him. The final driver to come across the line should be HBO Swarth in the Bentley car. But I think Seb LaFleur might have this unless the Bentley can do anything. He goes P5 up into the top 5. Very good lap time by HBO Swarth. But a dramatic end to the qualifying session. 3 drivers were on provisional pole for a moment. Apex Finley, then Keensom, then Seb LaFleur, who took it back, and he is on pole for the upcoming race, and Ford take pole here in Brazil.
That was a mad end to the qualifying session. So many drivers are improving at the end, and you saw Apex jump up, but all of a sudden you see Kingsom and Seb LaFleur, they were catching up, and Seb LaFleur's first sector wasn't great, but he took a massive 0.3 out of his previous time in the second sector, and I could see that there could have been an improvement coming. It's a great lap by him, and I think it's his debut race in LFR.
Is it his debut race? Wow, that's a really good debut if it is.
Yeah, well, he's not raced on Thursday before, and I've not seen him on Monday or Tuesday either, so I believe he's new, and I'll have that confirmed, but I think he is new. So it's a great performance on debut for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. What a start for the Ford driver. And if I'm not mistaken, he is also from America, if that's his flag.
Yeah, that appears to be his flag, so I bet you'd like that, Jonah.
Yes, as someone from America, I think it would be awesome to have someone on the grid, especially coming into the United States Grand Prix. He might be able to win that one. But we'll see how this works out for him in his first, supposedly first race for LFR, which would be a great debut if he's able to do this. But we'll see how this works out. But Keensom right behind, a very quick driver, as we know, as we come into a cloudy Interlagos circuit for the upcoming race. Very cloudy out there. Could we see some rain? I mean, Brazil has hosted a few rainy races in the past Formula 1 Grand Prix. I think in the real life, we've had a lot more rain than in the virtual world here in LFR. But yeah, it's a possibility, right?
It 100% is a possibility. I don't know if we'll get it. Well, even if we don't get it in this race, but we couldn't even see it in the main race. Don't forget, this is only the sprint race for this weekend, so you never know when they get the other weather. Yeah, we'll see what we get in the main race. Let's just focus on the sprint race for now, and looking forward to a good race here today.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be entertaining. I think these drivers are going to be pushing quite a bit with 18 laps for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Seb Leflair looking to hold off Kingsholm, who's in P2. Apex Finley, we know, is very quick. Zayak, who's in P4, looking to get up there as well. And I do believe we did have a comment coming in, I think from Zayak, if I'm not mistaken. And he said there is no rain. So thank you very much, Zayak, for letting us know. But yeah, there could be a possibility of rain in the official race as well. So we'll see how that all works out. And also, SSL Mango and Keen David both going for a good result in today's race. They're starting P15 and P16. Watch out for them in this upcoming Grand Prix. And SSL Mango, he's gonna need some practice. I think this will be, his Fleece parked it up. But Mango using this time to go for a really good result in today's race, and also get a little bit of practice at Brazil as well, because this weekend he's fighting for the championship with Yuki in the LSR Group 2 race, and possibly going for his first world championship in LSR as well. So 2 big races for Mango. The first one, of course, being the LFR Grand Prix. The second being for the championship in LSR.
No, it is a really big weekend for him with, 2 championships online. Obviously, you operate LSR, so you know a lot more about that, but we'll see if he's able to pull it off.
Yeah, he's starting on the medium compound tires too, so I expect Mango to be going through the field, and
he'll be...
what happened?
He's dropped it warming up his tires on the formation lap. That's a bit of an embarrassing blunder. Good thing there's no damage, because he's on the final corner on the way to the grid, and he's just lit up the tires too much. I could see his car, it was just getting a bit jumpy as he tried to warm the tires up too much, and he spun on his own.
Oh no, well, that's not a good sign for Kingsholm, but we'll see how this works out. I mean, he's coming to the grid now. Hopefully those tires aren't too hot, but he's coming to the grid now, and we'll start second place. All good there. But we are ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Hopefully we have no spins like that in the upcoming Grand Prix. That would not be good for their result. But here we go. It is 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the drivers here in Brazil for the sprint race. It's lights out, and away we go. And a great start for the front runner. Seb Leflair gets a better start than Kingsholm, who has to back off and stay P2. Zayak got the better one off of Apex Finley. Apex is coming back at him, though, as the 2 go side by side into turn 2 in 3, as Zayak will have to stay in P4. Apex will get ahead into 3rd. Prior Thib and HBO Swarth going side by side. Prior got the better start and is up into P5 now for the Ford driver. Meanwhile, everyone is going well, and it looks like King David and Mango had a great start up to 12th and 13th, and a pretty good start for pretty much everyone on the grid.
Yeah, Fleer's had an incredible start there. I saw his start, it was really good. Oh, he's running off the track though. Onto the grass, he's going to rejoin back on. He just stays on the track. Oh, he makes a mistake. He needed the big win nearly ends, and that was so close. And they seem to have just survived it, but the Force India teammates came so close to crashing there. Big Weir! Big Weir's the back end!
Big Weir! No, the championship leader! Does he have damage now?
I've no idea. It's been a messy opening lap for him. He made a mistake at turn 1 and dropped 2 positions from where he was going to be up to if he'd made the start that he was looking like he was going to have, and then he's nearly made contact with Fleer, and then he's lost the back end. Has he got any damage? We'll have to see if he comes to pits.
Yeah, we'll see, but that's not good news for Big Weir, who's
he is in the pits. Oh no, that's a really bad start for him.
This is exactly what he didn't want. Force India really falling apart, as Chuck's Life says in the comments, as he says, because he's not there. And, I mean, he's not here, unfortunately, but unfortunately, Force India is kind of falling apart right now. It is not going good, as the championship leader comes into the pit lane because of damage. He's got 20 or so seconds to the next car, which is Dark Destroyer, as this has not been good for Big Weir, and it was a great start for Flea as well, but then he had a little bit of an issue as well, so Sector 2 did not go well for both of the Force India cars.
No, it really didn't. And Flea made such a good start as well, and the second he rejumped back on track, it all started kicking off in that part of the track, and he was so close not to pick up any damage, to be honest. Well, he did pick up damage, but so close that no one else picked up any damage, and even Flea as well. They were all sliding over the track. It's been a really chaotic start here.
Yeah, it definitely has been, and I think We are just waiting to see if there's anything else happening right now. Oh, yellow flag, that's new Dark Destroyer out of the session. And that is a VSC that has been called out. Shock Be Like is now pit. And unfortunately, that won't help Big Weird, as I'm sure he would like a safety car, but that is a VSC because one of the Jordans is out of the session, and it has not been a great start for Dark Destroyer, who is unfortunately out of the sprint race. He will continue in the next one, but yeah, not a good start.
No, it's not. He was a bit off pace in qualifying, to be honest, and it's not gone well. I don't know how that might have happened. I think he was running in a little bit on his own. Maybe he had contact with someone, I'm not quite sure, but it's not a full safety car, which is what Big Weir and Shock Be Like both need. I think Shock Be Like was the one who made contact, was he not, with Big Weir when Big Weir had his oversteer? Because Mango overtook on the outside, Shock Be Like was on the inside, so perhaps that damage came from there and Shock Be Like just didn't pit on the first lap it happened. I'm not sure, but maybe they both did pick up damage from the carnage that was on that first lap. And yeah, it's not been a good start. I did want to mention Mango and King David starting on the mediums. They did do what I expected, a different strategy to try and pull something off, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, they're currently P10 and P11, looking to overtake Massimo, who's trying to also overtake Flea, as they're having a nice battle here. We'll see how this works out. Also, wanted to let you know, I think we had new Dark Destroyer possibly wanting to come into the comms box. I'm not sure what you want to do about that or anything like that, but I'll let you... Oh, is there contact between Milan Massimo and Flea?
I saw that on my screen too. I was just watching it, and it's not. It's a bit of a down to turn 4. It was getting really tight, and they just banged wheels, and Milan was spun off to the inside, lucky to keep it out of the wall.
Oh, not good for Milan Massimo. Oh, yeah.
He spins it into the wall again. Oh, no, his tyres are too hard. He's just putting on the power too much. He needs to be careful with people rejoining and they're back on track, not hit anyone.
Yeah, that's not good for Massimo, who's going to move down to last in this race, and it has not been a good start for the Jordan team as Flea and Massimo made contact. I'm sure the stewards will be looking into that in a bit. As Keenstone says the fastest lap of the race, then goes Zayak with the fastest lap of the race as Sev LaFleur is leading the Grand Prix, but Keenstone starting to chase after that Ford driver, and we could see the Force India try and overtake the Ford for the race lead as we approach the final couple of laps of the race.
Yeah, I know. You're right. It's so close together at the top as well at the moment, to be honest. These guys at the back need a safety car, to be honest. Shock Be Like, Big Weir, Milan, they need a safety car. It's not working out for them right now.
No, it's not. Yeah, I'm sure they would love one, but unfortunately, it's not happening anytime soon right now, as looks like Massimo and King David have come into the pit lane. King David, one of the drivers is starting to the back. Mango was the other, and King David's come into the pit lane onto the soft compound tires, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an early pit stop for him from the medium to yeah, I'm not sure about that one. He's a little bit early. I suppose the soft if he wants to stretch them really far, maybe unless he had damage. Maybe I didn't see in the pits, unfortunately, but. Yeah, we'll see. We're carrying on, but at the top it's really bunched. As that is Mango passing Flea into turn 1, I believe. Is that yellow flag in sec? Where's that?
I think it was Massimo resetting to track, possibly, or hold on a second. Yeah, what's happened? Big Weir's out.
Safety car as well. He's got what he wanted, but it's him that's caused it. It looks like it's on the exit to on the entry to Junsao. That's a really weird one. Maybe he lost it down the hill and went into the barrier.
That's an odd place to crash, though. I mean, the only thing I can think about, he was on his own there, so it was either a driver mistake or either a glitch or something like that. The only thing I can think of is that, you know that curb, that's the inside curb at turn 10, I think it is, or turn 11. Maybe he got too much on that and just lost the car. The car kind of spun on the exit of that curb and crashed into the wall to the right, maybe? That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I think it is that. I can't remember anyone. The only thing I remember in real life of that is I think Grosjean did it one year in the wet. I don't want to say Brazil 2012 in case it isn't, but I feel like Grosjean did that once one year quite a while ago, but it's a really odd place to crash.
Oh, hold on a second. The leaders have crashed. Several Flair's been given a 5-second time penalty. Keensom went into the back of the Ford driver. There's damage to the Force India. Apex Finley, I think, also might have some rear wing damage, some front wing damage. He does as well. The top three have all made contact in the pit lane. This is a horrible restart for them as Zayak moves into second place in the race, and Several Flair has got that wing damage. So Zayak, who was running fourth in the Grand Prix, is technically in P1 with Pryor Thib in second and Gronfeld in P3. The top three have all basically ruined their chances.
Yeah, I think Several got a penalty. He'll probably be able to get that removed if he was at the front and there was contact from behind. He can't really do a lot about it. We'll see. He might be able to get it removed. I'm not sure. The stewards would have to have a look. I'm not actually sure how they would organise. I'd say have Apex and King's got damaged now still, because I saw Apex change his wing. So is he still got damage? That's the question. Has he got any other damage like side pod? That's what we need to watch out for, because I think King's and Apex changed their wings, but I don't think Several Flair changed his wing.
He did not. I don't think he got wing damage. I think I saw Keensom going into the back of Several Flair, and Keensom definitely got front wing damage. And then something happened where Apex Finley went on the side, and there was contact. There was contact on the side of Keensom and Apex Finley. So Apex Finley might have left side damage. That is a possibility. He got wing damage somehow. I'm not sure how. But that's going to affect his race. So Apex Finley may be out of contention for the race victory here today. If Zayak pulls away, we'll see. Keensom also got a penalty, and Keensom's coming in to serve that penalty. It has really been a nightmare race so far for Force India, with one car out and the other coming in from basically the race lead.
Yeah, and not good for his championship chances either. We were on about this earlier on, weren't we, before we went live? You know, Big Way, he's close to winning it, but to really stop him, they need to have good results. King's and I think Apex are closest to. I think HBR's worth the next one possibly, or maybe I don't know actually, the next Pryor maybe, probably next after that. But to stop him, those guys really need to go on a massive run of good form, and he needs to DNF from a lot of races, and this was a good opportunity, but it's not good for King's Home. He's dropped down. It's not good for Apex. You know, HR's worse than there, but still behind Apex. Pryor's the only one that's really high up, but he's got a lot of ground to make up. So even though Big Way is retired, it's still looking quite good for him in the championship, I would say.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think this won't really affect his chances too much, as he has that big of a lead, like we have been mentioning. So, but it is a little bit of a... Several Flair got... it looked like he got a little bit too much of the power there and spun the car, but I don't think it was anything. But, yeah, go back to Big Weir for a moment. Probably is not the best way to end off the sprint race, of course, with the DNF, but he'll come back stronger in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Maybe we'll be able to get up there, and I think it'd be awesome if he's able to do something like a last to a podium. I think that would definitely be like a driver of the day. But we'll see. So anyway, we have 10 laps remaining of the sprint race. Several Flair leads. He's got that penalty. There's a possibility that he might get that removed. I'm sure the stewards will be looking into that. Zayak P2 looking to get ahead of Several Flair. We'll see how this works out. It's actually Several Flair gets a really good start off of Zayak and gets one of the best starts I've seen in Brazil, to be honest.
No, it's a good restart for him. He's got the jump into turn one, but behind Gronfeld's making a move on Pryor. He's right going on the outside there. They're going to be side by side into the next complex. As Pryor's getting pushed on the inside there, that was tight, but they've kept it together. Is that HBR's worth losing a place anymore, or is it just one? It's just one, I think.
And Mango, I think Mango's overtaken a few cars, and he's trying to make the overtake on Flea. King David also doing the same, overtaking HBO Swarth, and King David moves himself up into 8th position. Flea is on the grass a little bit, goes off the grass, and is very wide there, very wide. And he's going to move down the order, and it is not a good lap for Flea, who is down to P13 now, but SSL Mango up in a 6th position on the freshest compound of tires on the grid right now, as he is 6th position and right behind Apex Finley for the top 5.
Yeah, no, it's not been... Flea, that's the second time he's done on this race. He did it on the open lap and caused that chaos behind, and he's done it again there on the restart lap. It's not good for him. But Mango, he's absolutely flying. He's making the move on his big rival from the last couple of races, I would say, Apex. These two have been battling a lot, and yeah, we'll see what happens here as they go into turn one side by side. Right behind Pryor, though, they're going to be so close to making contact. They actually do make contact. Oh, it's so Mango holds on to it. But that was so tight, and King David's all over the back of Mango now. Mango's actually had a bad exit because of that.
He's going to try and make the move on Mango to the inside line. We go, King's home. Oh, King David off and in the grass there as King David's going to move down to P13. That promotes Shock Be Like and Kingsome up into 8th and 9th and the rest of the field as well. But what happened there? Mango and King David made contact, and now Mango is looking for the move on Apex Finley once again. They're side by side and contact again.
Yeah, it's getting a bit feisty here in the midfield. It's bad that the teammates have made contact, to be honest. I think King David had it down the inside, and again, it's just another wheel contact moment, and it's really affected King David in a really bad way, to be honest. I think he's going to be quite annoyed that they've made contact like that.
And there's a possibility that it could be the internet issue, because I was right on board with Mango and he is lagging a little bit on my screen. As it kind of seems like he's, that's pretty big lag spike there.
Yeah, bad on mine too. That could have been it, to be honest. I was riding on board with King David, so I wasn't able to see at the time, but I suspect that might be what caused it, actually. As King's Aim's charges back to the field now on those softs. It's actually not too bad for him, because he changed onto the softs, and I think the softs are quite good for the amount of laps they had left to be able to make some places up. So although it's not great, I think he's actually doing 2 stops. It's actually worked out quite well. There's a bit of contact now.
3 wide! 3 wide into turn 9!
And Mango gets pushed off again on the next lap by Apex. Now Apex dives down the inside of Pryor. That was audacious, wasn't it? But now Pryor's going for the switch, but this is great racing.
This absolutely is. Oh, is H-Bill Sworth off the track? I think there might have been contact with himself and Mango. Could be down to the internet issues that we were seeing as Pryor coming back. Sorry, not Pryor, H-Bill Sworth coming back on track as Kingsome. We were talking about him on the soft compound tires, now in contention for a podium. I think he's going to be going for a top 4 finish.
That was contact on the straight between Pryor and Apex. Has anyone got any damage from that? Because Apex, I swear, just touched the wall.
Ooh, that's not good. Not good. I'm not sure. We'll see. Depending on corner exits. Oh, Apex!
Mango's completely taken out Apex. That was so bad. I didn't see who actually at fault for that, but it seemed like Mango just drifted a little bit too far to the right, and there was contact, but we'd need the onboards. That's a big crash, and that's definitely a safety car.
That is one of the biggest crashes I've seen this season. Apex Finley and Mango made contact. Apex in the wall, and that is a hefty crash. I hope everything is... Well, I would say I hope everything's okay if that was a real crash in real life. Of course, that's in the virtual world, but... Oh, that's a massive crash and not good for the Jordan team as well. Apex Finley running in a great position for P3, and unfortunately, there was contact between the two. I'm sure the Stewarts will be looking into that incident, but what happened? We don't know, right? Or did Mango drift into the side?
Who were you riding on board with? I was riding right behind. I can't remember who I was riding on board with. I think it might have been King's Home, and I just saw... he almost drifted to the right and made contact. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see what the stewards say about that. I don't think. Yeah, Apex is not impressed in one of the chats and thing. I don't think he thinks that's his fault at all. We obviously have only seen it once live. They've had time to maybe process it a bit more, being in the cars, and I think some of the people on the live stream aren't very happy either. But from what I could see, it just seemed like a bit like maybe Webber and Vettel in Turkey 2010. He just drifted too far to the right and he completely smashed him into the wall. It seemed like quite an aggressive move, to be honest.
It was a little aggressive. When I was on the live stream, I was actually on Apex Finley when it happened. I wasn't on board though; I was on the off camera, so I got a good view for all the weekly rundown that we're going to be doing for LGE. We do a video that is well, I forget what it's exactly called. Oh my goodness, we call the additions. Moments of the week. That's what it's called. Moments of the week. Sorry for me thinking for a bit, but yeah, that'll be a good image and a good video for the moments of the week. So anyone listening, that's part of the graphic design and video editing team. Keep that in mind. That's a good moment of the week. But yeah, going back to the actual incident itself. Yeah, it was a little too aggressive from Mango. I think I need more information. That's something, but I think my initial thoughts is that that seemed to be Mango's fault, as Apex didn't really have any more room to go. He was as far as he could to the right. But the other part of me is kind of saying that could have been lag as well, because we're talking about Mango had a lot of lag, and it's possible that his car drifted in a way that maybe he was not even controlling that part. I don't know how to really explain it. It's just lag, maybe? Is that a possibility, that Mango was just driving normally, but the lag was causing him to maybe kind of hit other people, unfortunately?
Well, to me, I don't want to say it looked deliberate. However, Mango has just put a thing in Discord that says he's lagging so badly he couldn't even see anyone. So that could be it.
And that's probably the case. And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. From the camera, it kind of looked like it was a very aggressive move, but maybe it was lag. We were seeing a lot of lag on board with Mango. I'm just praying it doesn't happen again. You know, that's what we don't want. We don't want to see big crashes like that. If there is lag for any drivers, if it's that bad where you can't see anybody, I unfortunately suggest retiring the car, just because you don't want to injure any other driver's results, you know. But we'll see. Maybe it was all fixed. We will head into the final remaining minutes of this session. The stewards will definitely be looking into that. But Zayak leads away, a Braun 1-2 in Brazil, and Braun do go well around here. I mean, 2009 they won the championship.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They did, and they've got a really strong performance at the moment coming here. But Zayak's got the jump off the restart here, and a lot of drivers pitted, which I don't know for how much we mentioned that on things. So we'll see what they're able to do.
Oh, and Gronfeld's off the track. There was contact with another driver, and Gronfeld from P2 is down to 13th and last in this session, unfortunately, as we have King. What were you saying?
The broad domination's kind of collapsed a bit there, isn't it? But now it's just chasing Zayak on the mediums. Can they start in front for long enough? As well, technically, King David and King Zane are also on quite warm softs compared to the others. So are they going to be able to catch up?
I'm not sure. You know, this is going to be interesting. We'll see what happens here. But Prior Thib is the closest driver to make that move on King David and Keen's home. I think that he should be able to do this as he's looking for the overtake on the Braun of King David. And Mango right there as well. Shock be like in the Ford in 6th. But Prior Thib is right behind King David and looking for that overtake, and he should be able to get it. Possibly down into turn 1. I think we could see a send from Prior Thib, and he might have to do this if he's going to be making the move for possibly even the race victory today.
Yeah, he's looking, but he's too far back. And the thing is, the DRS isn't coming in until the end of this lap, so he'll have 2 laps with DRS. He really needs everyone to start closing up to Zayak if he wants to try and win this race, which is, the gap's coming down a little bit, but it's not coming down by a lot at the moment at the top. I think he'd be able to make a much bigger impact if he was there, but Mango is practically pushing Prior to that corner. They're so close together, and we'll just have to hope there's no more lag spikes, because that could end really badly if there is.
And hopefully there's not, but Prior Thib, if he's going for a top 2 finish in this race, he's got to make that move. Very close. I think that was the only opportunity for him to, if he got past King David there, I think he would have been in contention for the race victory today. But unfortunately he did not, and I think that might have cost him the race victory in the sprint race. But we'll see if he's going to be able to get into a podium position. Just 2 laps remaining. We're entering the penultimate lap of the Brazilian sprint race, as Mango's also going for this podium as well as King David. Could be a Braun 1-2-3. Would that be interesting?
Yeah, here comes DRS enabled this lap, so will they... They're going to have it soon, but several flares also making some great progress to the field. Like, I think did he pit after everyone else had pitted on the safety car? I missed it completely, but I think he might have done because he's got 1 lap pressure tyres, which has cost him a lot of positions here.
He did, and the problem was that he had to serve that penalty that he got, and so that's why he's so far down the grid. It's incredibly unfortunate for Seb Leclerc. It could have not been his fault, you know, that collision with Kienholm and Apex Finley. We don't know exactly, but Seb Leclerc down to 7th now, and not where he would have wanted to finish in this race, but I'm sure he'll have an opportunity.
That shot me like round. Yeah, shot me like round with Mango. I don't know what that was due to again, but I think there was contact between Mango and Pryor at the previous corner, and then as Mango came back on, he just touched Shock Me Like on the inside, and that's another driver that's dropped a couple of positions there, well, more than a couple, to be honest. It's affected his race again, so we'll have to see what happens, but I think Zayat might have this one. He looks like he's got the sprint race all sewn up here, but King David's coming really fast on King's Home, and Pryor's coming really fast on both. They could be 3 wide here.
They could be. Kienholm defending. Here comes Pryor. Oh, there's contact!
Pryor. Oh, Pryor, he's touched the curb. I know you can't touch like that. This is going to be bad. He almost hits people coming back on track as well. That was so close. As now King David gets past King's Home as well. They're battling up front for second, actually side by side.
Yep, this is very close. Mango trying to get in the action as well, as it's a 3-car fight for second position on the final lap of the Grand Prix. King David down the inside. Mango trying to make this 3 different cars as Kienholm going down the inside on King David. This would be amazing if Braun got a 1-2-3, but Kienholm wants to get into the podium as well, as he's trying to make the move on King David down the inside on the Braun car, as this is a very intense fight for second position, and Kienholm's got it. Kienholm's got second position, unless anyone can make an overtake, but Zayak round the final couple corners from 4th to 1st. A great maneuver for Zayak. Kienholm's round. Kienholm is round, and that is his podium chances over. Zayak wins the sprint race, and it is a 1-2-3 for Braun. We don't know if that will stay, if Stewart's decisions will come into play, but 1-2-3 right now for Braun. What a result for them at the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, but my driver for the sprint race is Seb Leclerc. He's made up so many positions in those last couple of laps to finish 4th, and what happened to him with the penalty. That was an incredible drive, and also well done to Zayak for a great drive, holding out everyone behind on those mediums. He's got the strategy right there.
I want to give the drive of the day to Seb Leclerc as well. I mean, he's done an absolutely amazing job. But there's another driver I also want to talk about. Flea has finished 5th. What an incredible job from him. Top 5 for Flea after a difficult race here in Brazil. He has come home to finish 5th. I think he's going to be incredibly happy as well with that one. So the driver of the day was given to King David. He did a great job as well for the back of the grid. But I think all of us can agree that there was a lot of drivers out there that did a great job today.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of drivers that did a good job on that last lap. I'm genuinely not quite sure what happened. I think, and this is just what I'm assuming, but I think Kingston wanted the DRS, but left it too late before the detection point to drop behind thingy, because I think on the run to the line it's quite powerful here, isn't it, at Brazil? So I think he wanted to be in 3rd going in to try and overtake it, but he left it too late. And out of the final corner, he got a bad run, and I think his front tire made contact with the rear of whichever Braun it was, and then he just spun off, and then it reset him to track automatically, because if you spin on the infield there, that's what it does. So yeah, that's really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, well, that was an exciting race. A really exciting race. Braun 1-2-3 here in Sao Paulo. Zayak wins it from 4th on the grid. Fastest lap goes to Seb Leclerc, with Flea rounding off the top 5. What a great result for the top 5, and a very, very exciting race. And I think we're heading into the next one now, the official 50% race, as that is where the max points are going to be scored for the top 15 drivers in this race. And I think a lot of drivers will be coming back stronger in the official Brazilian Grand Prix as we prepare for another race here in Sao Paulo. But yeah, what a great race. So what did you think of that one? To start off the Brazilian Grand Prix, to start off the official weekend or week of the Brazilian race. What do you think of that sprint race, and what can we expect from the next race in the official 50% Grand Prix?
I think we can expect more chaos, more action. I mean, just what we got in half the distance. There was some big crashes there. There was, a lot of like safety car incidents. I really love Brazil. I think it's a really good track, and I'm looking forward to it. It might even be wet. We don't know, to be honest. The weather's completely different for the main race, so we'll just have to wait and see. But I do want to mention Braun's performance there. That 1, 2, 3 is going to really help them in the championship. Assuming it stands, I think there's question mark, not over Zayek, and probably not over King David, I would say, but maybe Mango. There's a couple of question marks that I would have to say, based on what we've just seen. But the front two, there's a good performance in the sprint. That gets them a fair amount of points, so it's going to help them in the team's championship as they try and claw back to Force Indy. That's the main battle that we've got going on right now, really. A lot of the teams are still in that battle.
Yeah, the constructors fight is pretty close. Force India, Braun, I think there was another team in there as well. It might have been Jordan, but I'm not completely sure.
Yeah, it's Bentley have not had a good performance there, have they, really? It's not ideal. I mean, Ford are going to be fairly happy, and so will Braun. Force India have got Flea, and that is commendable, to be honest, because Flea, I also mentioned him earlier, but well done to Flea. That is probably his highest finish of the season, and I can't remember, go back and check stats, but I don't think he's finished higher than that. So I'm happy with his performance there. I think the team will be happy with his performance there. He's done really well, so I'm really glad to see him doing well. I think he deserves it, but I think Bentley and Jordan are gonna be disappointed that wasn't a very good race for them. But the main race is where the main points are dished out, so we'll see. But the team's championship is coming on to the wire. I think it'll be decided on the last race, to be honest.
Yeah, and that will provide us some incredible racing in Saudi Arabia, to see what team will be able to get up there. It's a team effort, these 4 drivers for each team are competing for the max amount of points to get their team the highest result, and possibly even that championship as well. This season, gotta say, it's not been the best for Bentley. Last season I think was a lot of a better race, a better season for Bentley, and I think it's not really gone their way this season, but I'm sure they'll come back stronger. We don't know what the teams are looking like next season. That's what's so interesting about this championship, is that we could have a completely different grid of different names, different team names next season. I personally, if we're doing some thoughts on what team names we would like to see, I personally want to see the return of Lotus. I want to see Lotus back in F1. And I think that would be awesome if we had Lotus. And I also want to see BMW back in F1. I think that would be awesome. And particularly BMW Sauber. If LFR owners and admins are listening, I think it'd be really cool to see a Lotus name in the team. And if I get a chance to reserve, I'll definitely reserve for the Lotus team.
Yeah, I think that you've got some good ideas for team names there, to be honest. You've already started thinking about it, I see. I'll have to see. I think the new season, well, when we start the new season for Monday and Tuesday next on the new game, we'll be starting it for Thursdays as well. So we'll have to see what the teams can come up with. I don't know how the teams will be done next season. I suspect could be random again. I think that's worked quite well. It's got, I can't remember exactly how it was done this season. I think it might have been pots and then we randomed who was in each one, but I think that it's worked quite well. It's made for a really competitive teams championship, at least.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's been hugely successful. And I think next season, for season 3 of this, will be absolutely phenomenal. And I think LFR's entire season will be awesome as well. Season 4 looking to be the best it's ever been with the new game. And I think next season for LGE viewers is going to be the biggest yet. I think it's going to be incredibly amazing. We got the event coming up in September. That's huge. That's like a really big thing. And I know everybody's been working so hard to get this running, and it will be absolutely phenomenal. And besides that, we got 2 incredible leagues coming in with some incredible content. LSR, LFR, both are looking absolutely awesome for next season. I've been, since I am the owner of LSR, one of the owners, I've been kind of going through all the stuff we've been looking into for Season 3 of LSR, and I can tell you already, viewers, that it's going to be an awesome season. We keep talking about this all day long about what's going to be happening. And actually, real quickly, I'm going to try and do this when we get these little breaks in the Formula 4 Championship, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on in the world of LGE and the future kind of thing. I'm going to do a little update on everything, all the news that's coming out. So we got a big announcement from LSR that just released from the admins of that league. We have the calendar that has been officially revealed, 15 races, and we're officially going weekly as well. It's been every other week for the league for the past 2 seasons, and now we're officially going weekly, so super excited to be introducing that, and a 15 race calendar, the first time we've ever done that, which is awesome as well. It's usually been around a 9 to 10 race calendar due to the every other week thing. But yeah, first ever time it's going to be 15 races, and we got a ton of announcements coming in. And if you guys want to hop into next season of LSR, definitely go and join the Discord there. And same with LFR as well. Formula 4, Limitless 1, Limitless 2. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Definitely join LFR's Discord server as well, so you can participate in not just this race, but all the other tiers in LFR as well. So a lot of action coming in from the 2 leagues, and I think we got a lot of posts, updates, news, all that sort of thing coming in for next season. We have a comment coming in that says, it's Brazil this week in LSR. Yes, confirmed. It is the Brazilian Grand Prix. So while it is Formula 4's Brazilian Grand Prix, it is also LSR's Brazilian Grand Prix. So hopefully that answered your question. That'll be for both groups, just letting you guys know. And that will also be the finale of LSR. So that's what's coming up next on LGE's YouTube channel after our Formula 4 race here. We will be streaming the LSR Grand Prix Group 2 and Group 1. Group 2 on Saturday and Group 1 on Sunday. But yeah, that's it. So, Isaac, I want to ask you a question. Strategy, that's a big one. And I also want to get your thoughts on just what you're thinking as we head into the 50% race, because I think we're about to ready up.
Yeah, no, I think we are about to ready up. You're right. And I think this time we're going to see possibly even more action. I don't know how, but we might, because the top 10 are reversed, as you all know. So those who finished 10th are starting first, and those who finished first are starting 10th, and all in between gets slotted out. So that's going to mean hopefully some nice battles as some of the faster cars try and come through the field. So we'll see how that goes for people, but especially if it's wet, I think that's going to mix it up. But in terms of tyre strategy, I think because you've got free choice, obviously, I think you'll see a mixture of people starting on the softs and the mediums. That's my hunch throughout the field. I think those at the back will definitely want to mix it up. You might even see someone on the hard, so I highly doubt it, but we'll see how anyone goes for it. But I think the softs and the mediums are going to be the main call there at the start. And it's all about getting the safety car strategy right, really. If there's a safety car, do you pit, do you not pit? Last race, so I got that totally right. So we'll see if you can do it again.
Well, strategy is an interesting thing here because the degradation isn't very high, and that's the interesting thing about it is that, like you mentioned, if the safety car comes out, do you pit, do you not pit? That's a perfect example of what could come in this race. It's going to be a lot of mixed decisions kind of thing, I think. So we'll see. Like you mentioned, we're going to see a few drivers starting the mediums. I definitely have to agree with that. But now, I want to ask you an even tougher questions. Prediction time. And viewers, comment down below your predictions for this upcoming Grand Prix. But Zayak also said that he's going to get damage on lap 3 and have to pit. I hope not, Zayak. I hope you have a good race. But now, I want to ask you, Isaac. Who do you think is going to be winning this Grand Prix? And if you can, before we get hopefully we have the time to do so, give us your top 3 for the official Grand Prix.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a customary thing, hasn't it? We'll see who gets the closest. I'm gonna say I might actually kind of want to see the starting order again because I can't remember everyone. I'm gonna say in P1 it's gonna be
It's the toughest part, isn't it? This is the toughest part of the entire commentary stream.
I want him back. I feel like, he's had a couple of races where he's not actually been at the top, and he's usually at the top. So Big Ray is going to win it, an absolute masterclass from 13th on the grid. And P2 is going to be LFR because of his incredible pace. We saw that in the first race there, sprint race. And then P3 I'm going to go with 8th Finley.
Alrighty. Well, that's a really good prediction. I think that could definitely come true. We'll see how this goes. I guess I'll have to do my prediction too, since that's tradition. Now this is hard. I'm going to go Sevlaflair is going to get the win today. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to come back, and he's going to take P1. I'm going to guess it's going to be a Ford 1-2, as Prior Thib will be in second position, as they'll be grabbing a good result here in Brazil. And third, going to be close, but I think Zayek's going to grab P3. Why not?
I think that's a good prediction. That could also come true, and this is so exciting. We don't know who's gonna, I would say a lot of the drivers here today are capable of winning this. We've seen the chaos that Thursdays brings out, so we'll just have to see who can pull it off. But H. Rosworth, he'll be happy to start in first. I think he needs to try and control the race if he can, because Bentley needs some points. As two drivers get disqualified on the way to the grid, that's not great for them.
Yeah, it's not good for both of them, as they're going to have cold tires. That's exactly what you don't need, especially on the medium compound tires. But yeah, you mentioned H. Rosworth on the mediums. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because at the start of the race, you're going to want traction, and that's not what you're going to get with the medium compound tires. Milan Massimo and Jacques Villeneuve are probably going to get the better start since they're on the softs.
Yeah, he needs to get the traction off the line, but he's going to struggle. It's not massive in running to turn 1, but he's got to hold on to turn 4 as well, so we'll have to see what he can do.
Well, here we go for the Grand Prix. Let's see what happens at turn 1. It is time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. 36 laps to win us, and it's lights out. And away we go. Great start for the front runners, but Milan Massimo gets the better one. He's going to challenge HPO's. We're down to turn 1. He's got the position already. Milan Massimo up in the first position on the soft compound tires. The Ford's battling it out with Zayek, who's now in P5. Great start by Zayek. Up to 5th position and looking to make the move on Shock. Be like Flea in 6th right now, trying to challenge Zayek, coming down to turn 4. Decina Dulago side by side between Braun and the Flea's made contact with Zayek. Flea goes a little bit wide and comes back on track. Unfortunately, hits the Braun. I don't think there's any damage to either car, so that's good. But it looks like King David and Flea side by side. There's a Ford off the track. What happened there?
Yeah, it was the Ford. I don't know what the Ford is, Stefan Flair, whoever the Ford is. I was too busy watching King David and Flea make contact up the hill again. Flea runs wide again at the grassy section. And it's okay, a big wheel has made a double pass there into the Turbo Albon Hamilton crash, but I'm not quite sure what happened to Stefan Flair. He's dropped back quite a lot, so an incident with someone, clearly.
Yeah, it's incredibly unfortunate for Seb Leclerc, the driver that's making his debut today. It's not been the greatest start for the Ford driver. Hopefully, he'll be able to get a better one in future races and hopefully catch back up from that downside. But here comes King David. Here comes Grunfeld as well. The three battling it out for 7th position. King David has got ahead of Flea, and Grunfeld's not going to try and go around the outside of the. And Grunfeld spun it. Grunfeld is spun. He's going to save the car, though. What a save. But he's in the middle of the track and around the racing line as well. Here comes the Ford. Watch out. Oh, it's so close. But Grunfeld keeps it out of danger and stays in P15 for now. So anyway, Apex Finley making the move on Flea. Apex up to 9th. What a start from Big Weir, though. Up to 6th position from 13th. Your prediction is going really well.
Yeah, no, it is, but those yours, Zayek's made some good progress too, and they're both getting their way up on the field, so at least, something's going right here. And yeah, Big Weir's made an incredible double pass on the inside of King David and Flea into the corner of Albon Hamilton crash, which I said earlier on, so I thought that was a really good move, and yeah, I thought he's going to be happy with that one, I think, and he's now going to try and make even more moves potentially, but I think Zayek's closest to H. Roswell.
Yeah, I think he's going to make that move around the outside. Goes Zayak. Into turn one we go. Ace Swords trying to defend on those slower medium compound tires. He's going to have to wait till those mediums start warming up and the soft start degrading faster. Zayak using the slipstream from the Bentley, using DRS. That car's powering past the Bentley, coming around the final braking zone before we head into the technical section of the track. Zayak goes a little bit wide though. HBO Swords might have the opportunity. He's going to go side by side with Zayak into turn 5 and 6 we come. Oh, and there's contact. HBO Swords is round and in the wall. He's going to come back on track though. No damage, but it doesn't look like there's no damage, but that was contact within the two. And unfortunately, HBO Swords, the pole sitter, is down to P11.
Yeah, you just got a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits there, so not sure that one was deserved, but that's quite an unfortunate penalty to get. But yeah, it don't even matter if real wing damage, that's the only thing I'm thinking, maybe. But obviously we can't really see that. Having a look now, it looks okay. So he might have got away with it, but yeah. An unfortunate accident. There's another someone else's round up ahead.
Apex! Apex is round.
As well. He's in the middle of the track as well. He's got to be careful no one hits him. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, to be honest. It probably just lost on his own. He spins again. It's going to reset him back to track again. It does when you spin now. It's not good for him. He's losing a lot of time now.
It really has not been Apex Day. He's had a lot of bad luck in the sprint race and now has that spin. He's all the way down the order. And he's going to come into the pit lane, get the 5-second time penalty. Is this the retirement for Apex Finley? Not exactly sure. Hopefully it's not, but we'll see. His prior Thib has got past Milan Massimo. Did we catch that on camera, or was I not paying attention to that?
I think I saw it happen right when we said Apex spun, but I don't exactly know when. So I'm very sorry for anyone that thought we missed that. We did in fact miss it. No one actually saw it happen. We were too busy focusing on the accident. But yeah, Pryor's now in the lead, so we'll see what he can do.
Oh, it's all good. Well, Pryor, leading away by around 7/10 of a second to Milan Massimo. It's been a pretty good start for the Ford driver, and Shock Be Like is in third and looking to get up there as well. And Big Weir, I'm going to keep saying it, has had a great start. P4 right now, and from 13th to 4th is looking to get into the podium positions already on the 5th lap of the Grand Prix. Zayak and Keen David also in a good position for Braun, 5th and 6th, as they got 1, 2, 3 in the sprint race. They're looking to get a good result in today's official 50% race, as Kingsholm is also looking to get a good result after the sprint race didn't go really well for him, as I think that might be a Force India off the track. Is that? Oh yeah, it is Flea. You're right.
I don't know how he's crashed there, but it's a picture of crashing in the wet, really. But it's the final kink in the straight, really. I don't actually know if that's even got a name. I certainly don't know it if it does. But yeah. Not a great place to crash. He's going to come in. He's just made it into the pits. It's right before the line, so he's managed to get in. And I think Milan's just been passed. Yeah, Milan's off.
Yeah, Milan has just spun it off. Sorry to interrupt you there, but he was in P3, and I don't know if that was a reset to track or the car just automatically got reset, but he's in P7 now.
Was it on the exit of John Stout? Because if you spin now to the left, it resets to track automatically. It won't have been on purpose. It always does.
That's exactly what happened. So, okay, good to know.
Yeah, that's not deliberate. It does that on the infield section at Brazil. Another one's, I think, exit like turn. I don't actually know what corner it is, but another one where you spin there, you get reset. But King David's all over like a King's Own now. I think King's Own might have just made the move, actually.
I think Keen David might be going for the overtake. He's sensing that overtake, but doesn't do it quite yet. Keen's charging that battery as well, showing that he might be low on ERS. We'll quickly check that, enabling the telemetry. Yes, and he is. He's on 20% ERS, where Keen David is on 67% ERS. That's a massive difference between 5th and 6th position there. Very interesting to see that. But Milan Massimo trying to recover. Bradfield in the Bentley looking to get a good result for the Bentley team as well, trying to hold off Sevlaflair, who is back in the fight for the top 5, possibly. I mean, he's currently top 10 right now in P9, and looking to get back in the action as Big Weir is going for the move on Shock Be Like. The two are side by side. This should be a pretty easy overtake for Big Weir, and it is. The championship leader is now up in a 2nd position, and now he's going to have to chase after Pryor Thib, the race leader. And wouldn't this be incredible if Big Weir goes from 13th to 1st? And you actually did predict that, so it's looking likely that Big Weir could do it.
Yeah, he's doing quite well at the moment. I think he's just got to keep it on the track, keep it consistent, and slowly edge his way up to the back now. He's 1.8 off, it's a bit of a gap. He's not going to have the DRS anymore like he did from his other moves at the moment, but Shop Light's sticking with him, so he's got to be careful not to get repassed as well, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. 1.8 seconds separating first and second position. 0.4 of a second separating second and third now. And we're approaching lap 8 as no safety cars quite yet. The strategy will probably be coming into play for the soft compound runners in the next 5 laps or so. They should be pitting around lap 12, lap 11, somewhere around there. It depends on their strategy as well. I would personally go soft medium for around here. You could try and stretch those tires to around lap 14, somewhere around there. And you could take the mediums for at least 26 laps for around here. It's pretty good. You should be fine if you take him around 26. As Bradfield looking for the move on Seb LaFleur as he actually got past the Bentley driver and he's up into 8th position for the American outfit as Shock Be Like and Big Weir swap positions as well.
Yeah, he got it. It was turn 4 just on the inside. I watched that as King James now going for the same move on King David again as they repass each other. These two are in a good fight, but if they work together, when the other runners pit, they'll actually be in a good position on the alternative strategy to potentially capitalise. So, you know, they just need to stay on the pace and maybe stop fighting as much. That could be beneficial for both their races.
Yeah, it's going good for Keemsome and Big Weir Force India. After a pretty bad start in the sprint race, are looking to recover after a difficult race, and they should be doing that. I mean, it's going pretty well for them, and that strategy could be coming into play, like you mentioned. So, top 5 performance for both of them. Let's see what they can do. And currently, Ford are 1-2, go on with a great race. As Big Weir is now trying to make that not happen and try and spoil that 1-2 for the American team. As Big Weir down the inside for Force India. And he's up into 2nd position now. Shock Be Like trying to make the move as well as he's trying to come back on Big Weir into turn 4 onto Sino del Lago. Here it comes, and Shock Be Like looking for the overtake. Down the inside goes the Ford driver. Big Weir trying to keep the position, though, as they're still side by side through that narrow part of the track. Turn 5. We come to now onto a little bit of a narrow straight it is, as they're still side by side into 6. Oh, and Big Weir's round! Big Weir is round, and unfortunately, there was contact between the two again. I think drivers are finding it very hard to go side by side through there, but unfortunately, Big Weir is round, and he is out of contention for the top 3 at this particular moment. Oh, and here goes Keemsome now on Big Weir. We'll see if the Force India is going to get past his own teammate. We'll see if this is going to change anything. Keemsome right behind Big Weir. King David as well in the fight. So a nice little battle for P4. I wish the F1 game had a graphic that showed top 4 in that battle. You know, that little graphic. That would be pretty cool. As Zayak is looking for the overtake on Shock Be Like. Here goes the Braun driver. As Shock Be Like will stay in 2nd position, but Zayak will have a nice run out of turn 3 using the DRS. I think he's a little too far back, though. I think he lost a little bit of time, and Shock Be Like is going to be still in P2, and Ford will still be 1-2 at this race as we enter lap 10. As Keemsome and Big Weir swap positions as well. Ooh, a nice move from Big Weir, and he's up into 4th. So this battle is still continuing on for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Milan Massimo in 7th, Seb LaFleur in 8th, and then we got Bradfield and Unsainted in P9 and P10. And Isaac, what do you think about this this tire situation here? When do you think the soft runners are going to start pitting?
I think, well, is that Shock Be Like coming in, or is that a pass? I can't actually tell. No, pass. Okay, so, and I think it was King David and King Sam, so I'll just watch this and then I'll answer your question. I think it's going to be, they're going to be side by side, aren't they? No contact. They get through it. I think for the tyres, the softs are really going to start falling off, and it's going to come towards the medium runners now. So the soft tyre runners, I expect to see them in a couple of laps, to be honest, if they're not coming in fairly soonish. Yeah, so I think the medium runners have just got to stick out there for a bit and see what they can do with. Ooh, that was definitely some contact there.
I think Kingdom got a little bit too wide, maybe got on that dirty part of the track, and then the car just kind of spun to the left. Unfortunately, King David was involved in that, and unfortunately, does he have wing damage? I don't know, but it seems like Kingdom's coming. It's seeming like that he's got a difficulty with coming on the power. Maybe maybe those tires are just too hot for him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. He does seem to struggle with that a bit. I think Zayak is going to pass Shopback again into turn 1, maybe. No, Shopback comes in the pits this time. But Zayak did get the DRS, so he'll be happy with that, I'm sure. Oh, another 5-second time penalty.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Shock Be Like. He's going to have to deal with that pretty much all race unless he pits again. And the question is, what tire is he going on to? It is the mediums for the Ford driver, and he's the first of the top runners to come into the pit lane onto a set of compound tires. And this is quite interesting. He's coming into the pit lane onto the medium compound tires. Unsainted also coming into the pits, and he's coming into the pits on the hard compound tires. So a change in strategy going on here, and Unsainted definitely going to the end of the Grand Prix. Is Shock Be Like also coming in for another pit stop, or is he going to go to the end?
I'm not sure. LFR is doing quite well. He's making his way back up again from, a bit further back. He's on the mediums now, so... Well, he's been on the mediums since the start, actually. So he's on that same strategy that King Zem and King David are on, really. Those three are really the front runners on this strategy compared to all those on the soft. So I'm quite interested to see how that blends out as well.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I am curious to see. Oh, it's Priorthib. The race leader is into the pit lane for Ford. Zayak also in the pit lane. So the top two come into the pits, and they'll probably come into the pit lane on the medium compound tires. And meanwhile, while that's going on, I'm going to keep an eye on Shock Be Like, who's coming around the final couple of corners, and we'll see where he comes out.
Pryor puts on the soft tires. No, when he was on the soft tires at the start, wasn't he? So is he on for 2 stop? That's an interesting call, I would say.
That is an interesting call. I'm very surprised by that from Priorthib. Unless he knows that the rain could be coming or something like that. I don't know about that one. That is actually a very interesting strategy from Priorthib in the Ford, as he's going to be P7 now. But he's on the softs, and like you mentioned, he started on the softs, so by regulations, he has to come into the pit lane once again. So is this maybe a mistake or a miscommunication with the team, or was this intentional, and what could be, if this is intentional, what could he be planning? What do you think about that?
I think either a mistake or there's rain coming. I don't think he's going to be any, he's definitely on a worse strategy, I think, doing 2 soft stints and a medium stint than if he was just doing 1 soft stint and a medium stint. I'd much rather be on the 1 stop. So I think it's probably a mistake. I don't think rain looks like it's coming, but we'll see. I think he's going to have to just stick with it now and try and make the best of what is a little bit of a bad situation.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. We'll see what he does here. I mean, P6 right now, 5.4 seconds to Milan Massimo. If he's able to get up there, I mean, maybe it could work out. We'll find out. But we do have that battle for P8, which could be a battle for first in this Grand Prix at some stage, as Zayak is looking to overtake Shock Be Like. Shock Be Like pulls to the inside line. Zayak is side by side with the Ford, as the Braun driver moves himself up into 8th position and had Shock Be Like. So the Ford will move down to 9th, and the Braun move himself up into 8th position. So good move from Zayak there and up into 8th. And he's going to start chasing after Bradfield in that Bentley, who's in 7th now. So we'll see if the Braun driver will be able to make that overtake on the Bentley anytime soon.
Yeah, no, Milan's all over the back of LFR. But I think it might just be a repass, to be honest. So the DRS is particularly strong, and it's like going for into turn 1. I always have the flare jinx the pits, and then he decides to back out. He's not coming in. Milan does obviously goes to the overtake on the outside. He thinks he's going to have it. But this is interesting with the medium tyre runners compared to the soft tyre runners, because now the mediums are a lot faster other than for the people that are pitted. So these guys are going to go long and then be on fresh stops at the end, charging through if there's no safety car, which I think could make for quite an exciting finish.
Yeah, it definitely could be. We'll see. I think it's going to be a very interesting one. We're on lap 15 out of 36. And so still A few laps remaining, but I think it's going to be a very interesting race. I think we should get an exciting one. So Milan Massimo has just been overtaken by Seb Lafleur in that Ford car, who's now P4. 6 tenths separating 4th and 5th position, and now Seb Lafleur is up into 2.9 seconds to King David, and now up into 4th position now. And I want to talk about Seb Lafleur for a moment. He is making a great comeback. He said that earlier on, and we're just continuing this conversation now. What do you think about him? It's been a pretty good race, or what do you think?
I've been actually really impressed. I've not seen a lot of his racecraft, admittedly. He's not really been battling with a lot of people. He had a couple of unlucky moments, I would say, such as in the pits. But he's been driving really well on his. I think it's his first race. I've still yet to get that confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's quite impressive, really. He's got great pace, to be honest, and I'm interested to see what he can actually do, whether he can come through and get that podium. I think they both predicted him on the podium for this race, so we'll see if he can get that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's currently P4 and definitely in contention for a podium today. We'll see what happens, but I am also curious to see what Force India are going to do, because Kingsholm now leading the Brazilian Grand Prix. Big Weir in second on the 15-lap-old soft compound tires. Now, he can definitely pit now for the mediums, but he's been staying out for the last couple of laps. Now, is this a strategy game by Force India, or is he maybe thinking something that like maybe a safety car or possibly even rain on its way?
Yeah, it's still looking quite sunny, but you never know. The weather can change quite quickly. It just comes in now, actually, so I'm not sure what the point. Maybe we're staying out late for a safety car. He's gonna have push tires in the end. I'm not sure.
I think that was probably the case, and maybe just staying out to get fresher compound tires and faster compound tires to try and chase after the rest of the field here. And he's going to come on 8th position, I do believe, and he's going to be quite a ways behind Bradfield.
Yeah, he is quite a way behind. And look at who he was battling with. These are the ones that are fighting for Italy. There's Pryor, and it's about how far he is behind that, and he is a long way behind. But even, okay, maybe not Pryor, because Pryor's got a pit again, we know that, but it's Zayek then, but it's quite a big gap. He's got a lot to close down, and that's only with a couple of laps less time on the mediums. He's got to close down that. I don't know if he can do that.
I'm not sure either. We'll see. I mean, anything can happen, I think. We still got basically halfway left of this Grand Prix. So still a lot to happen. But we'll see. Ooh, so we have, I think, a move going on here. Is this for... Oh, this is a lap car. Okay. But we do have...
lead, though.
Oh, yeah, it is for the lead. Team David up into first now. You're right.
Yeah, he's got the move, but then Kingsham's going to get the DRS back down to turn 4. Is it defeated our Largo? I can't remember what the corner names are. It's all gone out of my head, but I think that's right. I hope that's right. Yeah, but he stays in front, King David does, but Kingsham can just stick with him. He might get him the path on the next lap. These two have been really passing, repassing our race and working together, giving each other the DRS and helping out in the meantime. But Groenveld's retired, and this is on track. It could be a safety car. This could be change everything. It is a safety car.
Ooh, that's changed everything, actually. So what can we... Okay, so safety cars just come out. What has changed now? I mean, Big Weir's going to be able to get up there. King David, Kingsholm, that pairing of working together has actually helped them to secure a super good result in this Grand Prix, because they're going to come out and they're going to pit. And here's the question I want to ask you now. Can you take the soft compound tires 19 to 20 laps? Is that actually a question? I mean, is that even a possibility?
Right. So they've got, is it 18 at the end of this lap, or is it 19? Okay, so they're going to do a couple on the safety car, so that'll be not very much, but let's say it's 16. That is, they can do it, but they're going to be very worn, I think, in my opinion. I don't think they'll have a lot left in them at the end. They might even be in puncture range. I think they will be in puncture range potentially at the end. So, some people are going for it, so, you know, Pryor's going onto the mediums because he was on the soft spots if he has to, but that could actually work out for him, because I think the mediums are probably the better option over this distance remaining. I don't think the softs are going to be particularly nice to drive on at the end.
Well, you know, a lot of people have actually come into the pit lane for the softs. That would be Bradfield, that would be Stubbleflare, that would be Keensholm, and Keen David. Also, HBO's Worth, Milan, Massimo have all come into the pit lane for the softs. Apex Finley, let's see what he's going to do. And same with Unsainted. Also, Zayak and Shockbe have come into the pit lane for the medium compound tires. Same with Priothip. He had to, though, because of that tire change. Apex Finley in the pit lane, and I don't know what tire he is going, and it is mediums for the Jordan driver. So kind of a big mix between everybody, but look who's come out in first and second position. Keen David and Keensholm. What a strategy. First and second now. Wow. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. No, they've been overtaking each other the whole race, but using the DRS, they've actually kept it clean. And you know, with that, they've been able to, with that on their strategy, work themselves up into first and second. So, you know, it's been good for them, and it's. I would say it's good for the championship for Kingsholm, but it's not, because he's got Big Way right behind him, unfortunately, on track, and the gap it's not really changing that much, unfortunately. So, you know, next time we might see a champion crown the way it's going. So I'll have to say.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, anything can happen, really. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, really. I also want to quickly mention, sorry to interrupt the topic, but I want to give an update on Zayak. He said that he has no setup on, which could really affect his race. I mean, currently P6 on the medium compound tires. Now, setup is a big thing for around here because you want downforce as well. Is that going to affect his Grand Prix? I mean, it's already kind of affected his Grand Prix, but I mean, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's not good for him. He's definitely not time. That's unfortunate. He's going to try and get the best result he can out of it. He's actually in a decent position, to be fair. He has no setup, so he actually should be pretty happy that he's in a high position with no setup on. But he's got to try and maintain it. He's going to struggle, I think, on no setup, unfortunately. But will it be in this lap? I think Flea is quite a way behind. He's not going to catch up this lap, is he?
I don't think he will be able to, unless the safety car stays out for another lap just because of that, which would be really strange if it did. I don't think it will, but we'll see how this works out. So, going back to strategy for just a moment, 16 laps on the softs, I think that's possible, but as you mentioned earlier, the tires will be really worn, and they won't be very good at the end. So, I don't know, even if the soft tires are going to be good right now, it's going to be really difficult to keep up with the medium compound runners like Big Weir and Prior Thib and Zayak and Shockbe at the end of this one.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that will be the case. City has not come in. So that's stayed out, and Flea will be able to catch up, so I'm sure we'll be happy about that. But, bit of a mix between softs and mediums. Is that Big Weir coming into the pits?
It is Big Weir into the pit lane, and HBO's Worth.
Damage or tactical tire strategy swap, I wonder.
I'm going tactical strategy.
Yeah, but HBO's Worth on the opposite. He's coming and he's putting on a fresh. Oh, he's not. I thought he was going to come for medium. He's putting on another fresh set of softs. They think that by having like 2 or 3 laps left on the soft, that'll make it safer for them to go to the end, and they might actually make it without puncturing.
Fascinating from these two drivers here. Big Weir and HBO's Worth are going to be on fresher tires than pretty much anyone else, but the problem is that they're going to be P13, P14, which is that's 12 cars they have to overtake. Is that going to be a problem for them, or was that the better strategy? Because they were on mediums, I do believe. I know Big Weir was definitely on mediums. So I don't know. I mean, was that a good strategy, or could that backfire?
HBO's was on the softs, but I think.
Okay.
But they're 1 now, at least. But I think it could backfire, 100%, because they've now got to get out to the field, and we've seen incidents have happened, you know? So, I'd be wary of that happening as they're going to restart this lap, but they're just trying to get through. I've noticed also the Jordans are running 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, so I think that's quite nice.
That's interesting. That's cool as well. Well, maybe they'll be able to work as a nice team and a quadruplet of cars going through the field and a Jordan train, if you will. So we'll see how that works out. Well, I mean, Jordan did win here back in 2003, if I'm not mistaken, with Giancarlo Fisichella. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But anyway, look at that pack of cars going along. King David knows how to get a good start on safety cars, and he does that exactly as I say that. King David, a great start. And now Prior Thib is looking for the overtake on Keensom to the inside line as Keensom goes round the outside of Prior Thib. As the two are going side by side, we have the Fords of Sevlaflare as well. Sevlaflare going for the overtake on Prior Thib. Is the new Ford driver looking to overtake Prior Thib? Let's see. He's going for it. Round the outside goes the new LFR driver, and he's got it. What a move from Sevlaflare up into third position, and now he's going to be right behind Keensom. Oh, and there goes Apex Finley looking for the move on Brad in the Bentley. Is Apex going to make that overtake? Let's see. He's looking for the overtake. He has a little bit of space, but didn't get the best traction. He's going to send it, though, to the inside line. He looks for the overtake. Eventually does not get it, though. Brad keeps ahead of the Jordan driver. Meanwhile, Big Ware is up to 10th position. He's made up 2 positions already and is now just got 9 positions to go until he gets to the front of the field. But will he be able to do that? I don't know. Alrighty, so 23 laps into this race, 36 of the entire Grand Prix. Still a ways to go in this Grand Prix, as we still have a great battle going on here for 8th, I do believe. But I think the closest battle might be for 5th. Zayak versus Shock Be Like. Remember, Zayak's got that nose setup, and I think the soft runners will be looking to make the overtake on Shock Be Like and Zayak as well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, I'd expect that they will be looking to make the overtake on these two, and obviously you've got those on the softs, and you've got those on the even fresher softs, the NHLs really coming through the pack now, but Zayak's setup problems is allowing the top 4 to really get a bit of a breakaway. Zayak's not actually got the DRS when it comes in. I think it's at the end of this lap it comes in, I can't remember. And the thing is, but he's not going to have it, so, you know, that's going to let them get away even more if they got the DRS on each other. So you go to the top 4 breaking away a bit here.
Oh, and there goes Milan Massimo, and Shock Be Like, and Milan is spun. There's contact. So with 10 laps remaining, King David leads the Grand Prix. Kane's on P2, Sevlaflare in 3rd position. Could Sevlaflare go for the race victory? He's just a few tenths behind, right?
Yeah, no, he is just a few tenths behind. I think he's 100% got a chance of this, because safety car.
Ooh, that could change things.
What was that caused by? I missed that completely. Milan's DNF?
Yeah, Milan DNF'd. I do believe, let's see, we're riding on board with one of the Jordans. Wait, what? Oh, that's not another Jordan. That's the safety car who has, unfortunately, the same exact color as the Jordan cars. It's a Jordan safety car. Why not? But yeah, that's Milan Massimo crashing out at the exit of 3. I do believe it's the exact same crash as Apex Finley. You know that same crash where Apex was hit that wall. Yeah. Oh, Apex! Oh, hold on a second. Speaking of Apex, he has just completely missed the braking there and almost crashed into the back of Bradfield. Thankfully, he saved it, but he was side by side with the Bentley coming into the pit lane there. I don't know if that's going to be a penalty or not.
Yeah, what did he hit him?
No, he didn't hit him, but he did go side by side with him. He almost hit him. I think it's all good. I don't think there's going to be any penalties there, but it is a possibility. I don't know what the rule is with safety car entry in LFR. I have to remember it.
Yeah, the Austria pit lane incident was so hyped in Tuesday as we had one. That was bit of pit lane thing, and then I think we had a couple more pit lane things going down. But yeah, I'm not sure actually. I'd have to check that what it is, but I think he should be okay. I don't know for sure though. But the safety cars really allow these guys to have their free pit stop again. And H. Bosworth back in the pits again for another fresh set of soft. So each of them wants another go at that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, you know. Yeah. I don't know. I gotta kind of come back and see exactly what's going on with the race right now, because I'm just kind of all over the place with the information as I went to go drink some water just for a moment, and yeah, I just came back and was also hearing to you as well, and so yeah. Well, now we got 10 laps. It looks like King David still leading the race, and the safety car should be coming in. It should be having one more lap, right?
Yeah, I think I'll bring it in this lap, to be honest. It's quite interesting with the 3 medium runners behind the 3 soft runners. Those soft tyres, as we said, it's helping them get to the end, but I think they're going to be quite worn, and the medium runners must be quite excited almost that these soft runners are going to be falling off at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The medium compound runners will definitely be happy. I think definitely Ford will be happy with this because they got 2 cars on the mediums, and I'm sure they'll be trying to make an overtake on the soft compound runners probably in the next few laps, because we still have 10 laps remaining, and the soft compound tires are already 6 laps degraded. So, yeah, not looking good right now for the soft compound runners in terms of degradation. Who is looking good is 7th all the way down to around 13th. So the top 3 in a difficult position for the soft compound tires, but Big Weir on 4-lap-old softs, and Apex Finley on fresh new soft compound tires, as well as the 2 other Bentleys, and Unsainted in the Jordan as well. So it's looking good for those couple of runners. Oh, and Isaac, it's coming in this lap. Here we go. One more safety car restart to go. Alrighty, so here comes King David. He's going to be looking to get another good start. Let's find out, though. And he goes now. Kingsholm gets a pretty good start as well, though. A better start than the previous safety car race start, and Kingsholm's looking to make that overtake on King David, looking to the inside line, does not make that overtake. Yeah, kind of scaring King David and maybe pressurizing him to make a little mistake there. But look at Sevlaflair as well. Sevlaflair is right behind these guys as King David trying to block the inside line. Kingsholm going to the outside though. Here goes Kingsholm, but he cannot make the overtake. Not enough speed into turn 4 at Destino de Lago, but here comes Kingsholm to try and make the move into the inside at turn 6. He's going to send it. King David leaves him the space, and this is good clean racing between the 2 drivers as we have Kingsholm and King David as they're still side by side into 8, into 9 as we come out of 9 attraction zone for the 2 drivers, but they keep it going. They are still side by side. This is awesome action between these 2 drivers here. We're riding on board with Sevlaflair for a good action point between these 2, and Kingsholm eventually gets the position. This is incredible racing here as it was a full lap of basically side by side action between the 2. Oh, and Flea's out. What happened to Flea? Did you see what happened to Flea? I'm not sure if Isaac maybe has his mic muted, but we can't seem to hear him at this.
Sorry.
Oh, all good.
I was muted. I've also had some internet issues, but yeah, Sevlaflair's got past King's Aim and so is King David again, so these 3 are really going at it.
Yeah, they really are. You know, this is a great battle happening right now. I mean, I hope you saw that battle. I'm not sure if you did because you said you had a little bit of internet issue there, but they were side by side through that entire lap. That was awesome action.
I saw most of it. It was like an incredible battle.
Yeah, it was really awesome to see, and I think this will continue on as Flair is going to be looking to make that overtake on King David, lap 28 out of 36. Big Weir is up to 5th as well. He's got past Zayek, and now it truly is a 5-way fight for P1 because there is 5 cars in this. It is 2 Force Indias, 2 Fords, and 1 Braun leading us away. So basically, the top 6 are all Brauns, all Force Indias, and all Fords.
Yeah, after the top 7 are all Force Indias, all Fords,
yeah.
all Brauns. Yeah, it's not been a good show for Bentley and Jordan, as I said earlier on, in both races, really. The 3 teams have been taking all the points pretty much.
Yeah, it kind of has, you know. But we'll continue on. We still have a lot of action to go. Still have a lot of battling as Flair is right behind King David. Imagine if he's going to be winning this Grand Prix. That would be a pretty incredible result for Flair.
Yeah, it would be a good debut race on Thursdays, wouldn't it? As he's fighting really hard with King David. Pryor is looking quite strong now, I have to say. On those mediums, I think they're going to come into their own in the next couple of laps, really. I think his fleet's still off at the last corner, he is.
Yeah, he is.
He's not actually on. Yeah, he's got back on now, but he should be okay about it. I don't think he's going to get any big points today. Now the Flair's got DRS, obviously, and so has Kingsholm, and they've all got DRS, to be honest. And Flair just sits behind King David into turn 1.
He does, yeah. He's going to be right behind him now.
I think he doesn't want to be repassed into this corner down here. But he's actually not close enough for it to move again, as that's the yellow flag in sector 1. That is New Dark Destroyer, I think.
Yeah, I do believe it is. He's going to be coming back on track. There goes Flair looking for the overtake. He doesn't make it quite yet, but look how close he is to King David. He's going to send it. Yes, he does. Down the inside into turn 8 we go. King David and Flair side by side as we come into 9. Now that traction zone. King David gives the Ford driver some room. And the American will be looking to make the overtake on King David anytime soon now. Kingsholm in the fight as well. Pryor Thib in P4 and Big Weir in P5 as we see. Yellow flag. I do believe that is New Dark Destroyer as Apex Finley is off the track. Not been his day today.
Not been his day today, you're right. But these top 5, they're so close together. There's like 1.5 seconds separating the top 5.
Yeah, there truly is, and this could be a 3-car battle here into turn 1. Here goes Flair down the inside. Here goes Kingsholm down the inside on the Ford of Flair. The 3 are side by side almost, as there's also a Ford of Pryor who's going to be starting to get faster and faster once those softs start degrading. And now the Ford's trying to break the slipstream. The Force India of Big Weir is in the action as well, the championship leader, remember. But these guys are all coming into this. This is awesome. It's Flea. Oh no, there's contact. There's contact. Flair's out. Flair's out. Oh, and there's HBO's Worth also out.
Flea, he lost it. I saw him on the minimap. I was just about to say he'd lost the car, and he was in the middle of the track. I didn't know where he was right, but as they came around the blind corner, everyone had to swerve to avoid it. The front couple clipped him but got off, and then, well, it looked like I might have been a bit of lag, but then Flair made contact, and then HBO's Worth made contact. They couldn't do anything. There was no way to avoid it.
That is incredibly unfortunate for Flair and HBO's Worth. Flea had that spin, was in the middle of the track. I think they didn't see it because he was just around the bend. It was kind of a blind corner for them, and both are out of the race. That is incredibly unfortunate. Safety car has been called out for the 4th time in this Grand Prix, maybe even 5th. I can't remember exactly.
Some people in the pits.
Oh yeah, King David and Kingsholm.
King David and Kingsholm. Yeah, they're getting fresh softs on us. Yeah, it's fresh softs.
Interesting. Okay.
That's interesting. I think. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they were on like 12 lap old. They were on like 12 lap old, so they went to the end really on like fast enough pace. So I think they want to come into the pits. Yeah,
I'm not sure. Well, I mean, Apex and Shockby Light and Unsainted are also into the pit lane now. But yeah, this is. I'm just trying to understand what has just happened on that previous lap. So, viewers, just a debrief. Flea had that spin, was in the middle of the track, and I don't think anyone saw him. I think it was just something that no one really saw. Unfortunately, that means that Seb LFR in his first race in LFR is out of the Grand Prix. H. Pillsworth, the winner from the Portugal race, and I do believe another race during the season as well. I can't remember which one, though, is out as well, which is incredibly unfortunate. Both drivers out, and I think Seb LFR, even though it has been a DNF for him, he has proven himself as an LFR driver, definitely has the pace, and I think he will definitely be considered as a serious contender for race victories and even a championship as well in Season 4, if he's able to join us in the next season. But yeah, he has proved that he's definitely got the pace and definitely deserves to be in this league and, yeah, fight for overall victories.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate for him, wasn't it? That was such a good battle going on in the top 5 there, and it's really a shame that that unlucky incident with Flea's spin caught out a lot of the drivers. There was just no way to avoid it, really. You know, you had 5 drivers within about 1.2, 1.3 seconds, and when you have a car in the middle of the track like that and everyone's got so little time to react, it's gonna create an accident, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it is. It's unfortunate. Yeah, like you said, that battle was absolutely incredible, and then yeah, it just happened, you know. It's just how it goes in racing sometimes, and especially league racing, you know, there's going to be crashes. That's just how racing is, and they'll come back stronger in the next one. I'm sure all the drivers that have retired for today or have had a difficult race will come back stronger in the race right after here. So we'll see how this all works out for them. But yeah, I'm sure they'll come back stronger in USA. Yeah. Oh, and Zayak has said something very interesting. He said it's a mix between our predictions in the top 3. It is actually, because Isaac, I can't remember exactly what your prediction was. You said Big Weir was going to win this race, and I think I said Zayak was going to be on the podium. The same with Prior Thib.
Yeah, I said Big Weir was going to win. I think Seb LFR second and Apex third. Well, Seb LFR's out and Apex is an 8, so maybe not those 2. But yeah, it is a mix right now. So we kind of got it right between us.
Yeah, it actually is going pretty good. I mean, Seb LFR, of course, we both guessed him to be on the podium, and unfortunately he's out of the race. So I think it was a pretty big shock to us. I think if it wasn't for that crash, he would have been possibly on the podium. But yeah, we'll see how this works out. As Waits, he says he's gutted to miss the race. Yeah, definitely sorry that you weren't able to make the race, Waitsy. Oh, yeah, we're already getting going. Okay, Prior Thib leads us away, and Big Weir in P2, Zayak in P3, King David, and Zayak, the 2 teammates collide a little bit there, and King Zone's now getting it up into P5, a massive battle going on here for P3, this is awesome action!
It's so close as well, and, you know, one mistake and you lose a lot of positions here, so everyone's trying to just keep it on track and go as quickly as they can, but Big Weir's all over the back of Prior. This could be an opportunity for a move maybe, but his tyres are really worn, so he's got to stay close there. All the tyres are really worn, to be fair, in the top 2 and Zayak as well.
And Zayak's has been overtaken by King David, and now King Zone as well has got up into 4th. It was a send from King David. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of contact, I do believe. Hopefully no damage to Zayak there. But you're right. Big Weir is right on the back of Prior David. He loses the car a little bit. He saves it, though. He's going to get passed by King David, though. Thankfully, he didn't spin the car. That was almost a DNF for Big Weir as we approach the penultimate lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. King David in 2nd position now, ahead of Big Weir as New Dark Destroyer is out of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, it's a retirement for him.
Yeah, Big Weir made a bit of contact there with the back of King David as well, and King's going past him the inside, so I don't think he's going to get those positions back. Those 2 are on much pressure tyres, but it's even Prior's really vulnerable now on those 15 lap hole medium, so the 2 laps behind. I think it could be a last lap pass unless he doesn't.
It could be. I think it's gonna be. I mean, 1 DRS straight remaining, really. Oh, it's actually King David sent it on Prior Thib. What a move! And Big Weir's down to 8th. What happened to Big Weir?
And I honestly don't know. I haven't seen what happened. I saw him drop to 4th, but all of a sudden, all those other positions have just evaporated as King David's pushing his way through as well. He needs to chase after King David if he wants to win, but it's a bit of a gap's going now. He's got to get closer.
What has happened on this lap? We were just talking about Big Weir, how he had that one chance to make the move on prior thing, but now Big Weir's down 8th. Oh yeah, he is.
As well. So that's guaranteed him not going to be up there on the podium, definitely. I do not know what has happened this race. It has been mental. But as we head on to the final lap, who knows who's going to win, who knows who's going to get where.
Right now, it looks to be Kane David, but Kane's pushing everything he's had. These two have been battling all race, and now it is the battle for the race victory on the final lap of the Grand Prix. One more lap remains. Is Kane's going to be able to gain that time to be able to make it a photo finish to the line on the final lap? Because there's one DRS zone remaining. Kane's got the chance, but he's got to gain so much time in this sector 2, and he has just pushed it to the absolute maximum now. He's got to be within 3 or 2 tenths to make the overtake on Kane David. This is coming down to the absolute wire. We could see a photo finish between these two drivers here. Round turn 10 we come. Kinsum is just too far back. I don't think he's going to be able to do this unless Kane David makes a little mistake. Through the final corner we come. It is no mistake for Kane David, who has done absolutely everything today, and he is going to do it. P1 right now. It has been an absolutely amazing race for him as Kane David wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. What a race from Braun. It is the win in the sprint. It is the win in the official 50% race. Kinsel makes it up on the podium. P2 for the Force India driver. And Pryorthib makes it P3 on those medium compound tires. A great race from him as well as Shock Be Like and Zayak round off the top 5. But wow, what a race. Absolutely phenomenal. Devastation for Big Weir, who ends up at the back of the grid, really, as it has not been his race today, but he'll come back stronger. I don't know if that'll affect the championship. I don't think it will too much, but the championship fight will go on to the next one in USA.
Yeah, King closes in a little bit on Big Weir with that race. I'm finishing for second by a little bit, but it's still quite a large gap between those two. I think it's about 50 points now. With 2 rounds left, there's about 68 on offer, so there's a good chance it could be won at USA, so we'll have to see if he wins it now. But in terms of the team's championships, it's been an okay day for Force India. I think Bentley have not had a good day at all. I'd say maybe Braun has got to be quite happy with what they've done today though, and so Ford, I think those two will be closing in on the leaders potentially in the team, but it's quite good.
Yeah, well, Braun's got a lot of points today. They really have, you're right. And I think it's not been the best day for Bentley either, like you mentioned, but it has been a good day for Braun, taking some solid points and closing the gap to Force India in the championship. But with Kingsholm's great result in P2 and the fastest lap point as well, that will help Force India to maintain their lead in the championship on my calculations. But we have to look and see as we come into USA. So this is the results. King David wins the Brazilian Grand Prix for Braun. Kingsholm in P2 for Force India. The two British drivers, P1 and P2, with Pryorthib rounding off the top 3. Shock Be Like is 4th. Zayak P5. Bradfield Bentley get a P6, so good result from Bentley, as Apex Finley and Unsainted are 7th and 8th, with Big Weir completing the finishers of the Brazilian Grand Prix. But what a race here in Sao Paulo. Fastest lap also goes to Kingsholm, and the winners of the sprint race were the Braun team, as they took 1, 2, 3. So what a race. Absolutely phenomenal from everyone today. What a race to come back to as well. And I cannot wait for the final 2 races of this season.
I cannot wait either. I think the team championship's coming right onto the wire. So, as I said earlier in the season, we're going to have the pens and notepads out trying to calculate who's winning the team's championship on the final day, maybe. That would be quite nice, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, we definitely will. I think the championship is going to be incredibly close between Force India and Braun, and the Drivers' Championship as well. I'm sure the midfield will be battling it out as well. Every team has to play their part. Every driver has to play their part in this upcoming event. But yeah, I got to ask, Isaac, what was your thoughts on that race?
It was a bit of a crazy one, wasn't it? With lots of incidents. There was a lot of action too, to be fair. We had some good battle over the whole lap. There was actually multiple of those. I think the stewards have got a bit of work to do, to be honest. There's quite a lot of incidents taking place in that race. But I have to say, it was an exciting one from start to finish. You know, you didn't need rain to spice it up, that's for sure, and it set us up quite nicely for the final 2 rounds of the season.
Yeah, it definitely was exciting. I definitely have to agree with you on that one. And like you mentioned as well, viewers, the stewards will be looking into all the incidents. So this is not the official results. I'm sure LFR will be releasing those in the Discord server in due time once the stewards do release all that sort of thing. And also, if you are not a part of the LFR server quite yet, do join, as it is a great community. But the results will also be shared on our social media platforms as well, Instagram and Twitter. That'll be the Limitless Gaming Esports channels for that. But yeah, I think that concludes everything from Brazil. What a race. Absolutely phenomenal. Congrats to King David, of course. It is not the official results, but, well, I mean, he's got the win right now. So congrats to King David. What a race. Absolutely phenomenal from him, and we'll see what they can do, what all these drivers can do in the next race in USA. Join us next week for what will be the penultimate round of Season 2 of this championship. 2 more races remain on the F1 2021 game, and then we'll be switching over to F1 2022. But a quick just announcement and just update on what's going to be happening next for the LGE YouTube channel. This is it from the LFR weekend, but we will be heading to LSR. We're heading to that league in 2 days' time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. 3 Brazilian Grand Prix in a row, so a lot of action in Brazil. But yeah, we'll be heading in 2 days on Saturday. That'll be at 9:30 BST, so that's going to be a little bit later for a lot of drivers in Europe. But yeah, join us then for the race in LSR for both races, actually, and then we will return to LFR for the United States Grand Prix after that. So that concludes everything. That was Isaac and myself commentating on the Brazilian Grand Prix. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next League Racing video. Goodbye.
Goodbye.